And good morning and welcome to Wake Up American Ministries. It is January the 15th, 2023, and we have a very encouraging word for you here today. No gloom and doom today, sorry. Just straight encouragement to keep pressing on. So, just as usual, we're going to give these just a moment or two to get signed on, click on whatever they do, and then we'll get into this. But the title today is No Reward for Quitters. So, just a quick, I guess you might say, a quick commercial. Um, you, we will be February the 5th at the, I'm trying to remember the name of the church. Anyway, we're going to be in Oak Park preaching there at church where Brother Wayne Roundtree was preaching, right there behind, well, across from the park, turn left right there at the little road, and it's about half a block down, and the name of it at the moment just skips my mind. But anyway, we'll be there February the 5th, so if you don't have anywhere else to be, we ask you to come and join us there, and if not there, then please go somewhere. So, anyway, that being said, just keep pressing on, keep doing what you're doing for the Lord, and those of you that took the challenge to do the 21-day fasting and praying, we hope that that's going well, and that you will be seeing the benefits of that, if you're not already, soon, or of course, all things are in the Lord's timing. So don't give up hope on that, and we got one more week of that. And of course, you don't have to stop at 21 days, but just make sure that whatever you're doing, that you're doing it safely, and if you have special conditions, take care of yourself. Anyway, so we're going to rock on. So I'm just wondering how many people have given up on their New Year's resolution already. Because that there were some of you, and I didn't do it. And we did kind of make some resolutions, but I didn't promise myself a prize for succeeding in the goal. So some of you, you did it. Whether it was, I'm going to exercise a little more, I'm going to eat a little better, I want to lose a little weight, and if I meet my weight goal, then I'm going to buy me this outfit, or I'm going to treat myself in some way, some form, to kind of reward me for a job well done. So I'm just curious on how many of you got discouraged, or whatever the case may be, because you wasn't seeing the results fast enough, and gave up on not only the goal, but you gave up on the reward. So anyway, we all like rewards, don't we? Or reward points, just depends on how you get them. Whether it's through an athletic competition or your credit cards. Like us, we have a credit card that kind of the more you spend, they give you points, and then whenever you desire, you can go and redeem those reward points and get food cards or whatever. So those are always good to get, because it's kind of like you get treated for being financially responsible, or whatever the case is. Where you may get a store card or on a healthcare app. Like for instance, on my particular healthcare plan, if you do certain things and you meet certain, they give you points that are essentially free dollars that apply to certain things in your healthcare. So those are always good to get. So we like those rewards because we know that we've met the goal. But it's interesting that I found this article, and it said that the second Friday after New Year's is called Quitter's Day. Now, how many of you knew that? So I didn't know that. I mean, I knew that there was a lot of people that you could do really good on your goal for 2 or 3 days, a week or two, and some, actually succeed. But the second Friday, which was this past Friday, would have been this past Friday, is where a lot of people, by then, they just give up. So there were some statistics that went with this article, and I thought it was very, very interesting. It said that 23% quit after 1 week, 43% give up before February, and 64% have given up after a full month. But only 9% actually achieved the stated goal. Now, you say, well, I thought this was no gloom and doom. Well, it's not. It's encouragement. Because if you want to be part of that 9%, then you got to keep pressing on. So, and there may be some days that you slip up a little bit, and that's okay. You know, you ate a little too much, you ate the wrong thing, or maybe you didn't go to the gym, or like for us, we incentivize ourselves, you might say. We put up a small TV in the room where we have our treadmill, and so part of the reason we didn't walk on the treadmill, other than being lazy, was the fact that, you know, it was boring. So my other half here, the one that's actually doing the video this morning, she said, well, we can put a TV in there, and we can hook our phone or connect our phone to it, and we can watch something to kind of occupy your mind while you're on there trudging this thing out, that it would help. So we've done that, and I'm not going to say we walked on it every day, but we have walked on it more. So we had to remove some clothes and shoes and those kind of things off of the storage rack and turn it back into the treadmill in which it was intended to be. So anyway, just kind of a little humor there. But another statistic here is the why. So the why behind it is that 35% just lose their motivation, 19% are just too busy to continue trying to press on and meet their goal, and then 18% they change their goal or their priority. Excuse me. So anyway, these were just some very interesting things that I thought might help encourage you to keep pressing on toward the goal. But unfortunately, so well, how does this apply to us spiritually? Well, unfortunately, we very much see this trend even within the church. People come into the church, maybe that are new. The Lord does a work in their lives. They're there for a short time, and then little by little, they miss a Wednesday night, or they miss a Sunday night, or they miss a Wednesday night and a Sunday night. Then they, they were really diligent and faithful. They'd come to Sunday school, Sunday morning, Sunday night, Wednesday night, and doing very, very well. And then little by little, they begin to slip. And little by little, then, after a short time, whether it's a month or 3 months or 6 months, whatever, they're gone, never to be seen or heard from again. And unfortunately, this pattern does repeat itself far too often, even within the church. But you say, well, how are we incentivized to stay faithful and diligent to the Lord? Well, number one, if we truly love Him, and we know what the Word says, God, this is what Jesus said. He said, if you love me, keep my commandments. So first of all, how much do you love the Lord? Because you can say, I love the Lord with all my heart, but then if you're not doing what you're supposed to, then that obviously comes into question. And it's not our place to question it, but certainly it's questioned before God. So anyway, so some incentives, and this is the good part, some incentives to keep us focused and to keep us on the right track is there are some crowns mentioned in the Bible, and there are 5 crowns for the righteous. Now there's other crowns that are mentioned, but they're actually kind of more like earthly crowns, like for instance with Esther, and there were some verses in there about a virtuous woman as a crown of honor to her husband. Well, that's kind of an earthly thing. In other words, if you have a great wife, then she honors you because of her faithfulness and her dedication to her family and to whatever that she is, hopefully a woman of God, and it brings honor to the husband. But we're talking about crowns that the righteous are going to receive or could receive, because not everyone is going to receive the same number of crowns or the same kind of crowns. But we have a goal that we can work forward to in our spiritual life, that we can achieve some rewards even when we make heaven our home. So how do we do that? Well, first of all, you got to be faithful. You got to be diligent. You got to be steadfast. You got to run the course. So we're going to hear that here in just a second. So anyway, now I'm going to give you these 5 crowns. I'm going to read the scripture behind them, but they're not necessarily in the order in which they're going to be received, because I don't know what order that's going to be. but I'm just going to give them to you so that you'll at least have the information. So the first is 1 Corinthians chapter 9, verse 24 through 27. And this is what it says. It said, and this I do for the people's sake. Oh, wrong verse. Sorry, that was 23. 24. Know ye not that they which run in a race run all, but one receiveth the prize. So run that ye may obtain. Now you see that? It says run. You got to keep going. No time for quitting. No time for stopping. You got to keep going. It says, so run that ye may obtain. And every man that striveth for the mastery is temperate in all things. Now they do it to obtain a corruptible crown. Now here's the one we're wanting to get to. But we an incorruptible. So the incorruptible crown, because there's nothing corrupt in heaven, right? It says, so I therefore so run, not as uncertainly, so fight I, not as one that beateth the air, but I keep under my body, and bring it into subjection, lest that by any means, when I have preached to others, I myself should be a castaway. So here's the first one, the incorruptible crown. Then the second one is this. This is 1 Thessalonians chapter 2, 19 and 20. And it says, for what is our hope or joy or crown of rejoicing? Are not even ye in the presence of our Lord Jesus Christ that is coming? For ye are our glory. Now if you go back and you read this in its context, it's talking about those that win souls to the Lord. And the writer here is saying that he has a crown of rejoicing, or some call this the soul winner's crown, and for those that have come to know Christ under his ministry. So the soul winner's crown. And then we have the next crown that's mentioned, and this is in 2 Timothy chapter 4, verse 7 and 8. It says, and we all very, very familiar with this one. It says, I have fought a good fight. I have finished my course. So remember a minute ago we were talking about running, okay? But now this is talking about finishing. So you got to keep running till you cross the finish line. It says, I have fought a good fight. I have finished my course. I have kept the faith. Henceforth, meaning after this, or from this point on, there is laid up for me a crown of righteousness, which the Lord, the righteous judge, shall give me at that day, and not to me only, but unto all them also that love his appearing. So this is the next crown, this crown of righteousness. So now the next one we're going to talk about, real briefly here, is James 1 and 12, and this is what it said. It says, blessed is the man that endureth temptation, for when he is tried, he shall receive the crown of life, which the Lord hath promised to them that love him. So here we have the crown of life. And it's to him that's promised to them that love him. So remember a minute ago, we were talking about kind of God's measuring stick. You know, if you love me, keep my commandments. And then there's another, and I thought I had it marked. And this is the last. Now this one here, if you go back and you read the context of the whole chapter, and even a little bit before, this seems to be a particular crown that's for maybe ministers, pastors, teachers. But anyway, we'll read it, and then you can just decipher it for yourself. But this is 1 Peter chapter 5, verse 2 through 5. And it said, the elders which are among you I exhort, well, this is verse 1, who am also an elder and a witness of the sufferings of Christ, and also a partaker of the glory that shall be revealed. Feed the flock of God which is among you, taking the oversight thereof, not by constraint, but willingly, not for filthy lucre, but of a ready mind, neither as being lords over God's heritage, but being examples to the flock, or be an example to the flock. And then verse 4 says, and when the chief shepherd shall appear, ye shall receive a crown of glory that fadeth not away. Likewise, well, anyway, that's enough. Anyway, so through verse 4, and when the chief shepherd shall appear, it talks about you shall receive a crown of glory that fadeth not away. All right, so the 5 crowns are the incorruptible crown, the crown of righteousness, the crown of life, the crown of rejoicing, or the soul winner's crown, and then the crown of glory. Now, these are the 5 crowns that are mentioned. Are there others? Well, I don't know. There could very well could be for whatever reason, but these are just the 5 that we're aware of. Now, this is the great thing. You say, well, we're going to get these crowns when we stand before the Lord. He deems us to be righteous and worthy to enter into heaven. So that being said, not only are we have the potential, because we're going to get a garment of white, we're going to have a glorified body. We have the opportunity to win these 5 crowns, or some of them anyway, and then God's going to give us a place to keep them. So, well, how do you know that? Well, because John 14:2 says this. It says, in my Father's house are many mansions. If it were not so, I would have told you. And I go to prepare a place for you. And if I go and prepare a place for you, I will come again and receive you unto myself, that where I am, there you may be also. So, what more could you ask for? He's going to give you a free place to stay. You're going to get brand new clothes. You're going to get a brand new body. You're going to have rewards that we earn on this earth. So, in other words, the more you do for the kingdom of God here and in this time and in your lifetime, the more opportunity you have to earn these crowns. So, well, it's reward enough for me just to make heaven my home. Well, keep in mind that there's going to be a 1,000-year reign of Christ here on earth, and that we get to come back and we're going to reign and rule with him. And it's just kind of my belief that the more crowns that you earn, the higher the position that you're going to hold in the earthly kingdom government of Christ during that time, because we're all going to have some role to play during that time. So well, that's really not important to me either, but yet it should be important to us because it gives us a goal to work for and a reward at the end for being faithful to the Lord. So what I want to close here with today is don't lose sight of your eternal rewards, because whatever you do here on this earth for yourself, whether you lose a few pounds or whether you achieve success through your job or, however many degrees you may have on the wall, those things are all great. But when you leave this life, those things are gone, never to be remembered or cared about anymore, except maybe by your loved ones. But at some point, all that even comes to an end. But anyhow, what we do for eternity, that lasts forever. So, it's good to have your own personal goals, but let's also have some spiritual goals that we can reach, and then we can receive the rewards for doing the things that we know we should be doing or called to do for the Lord. And so that's our word of encouragement for you this week. We ask you to share this, encourage somebody else to keep pressing on, run their race, and finish well. And we thank you, we love you, and Lord willing, we will see you next week.